Hello everyone, Chris back again with you in Gaming Zone. Man, did I goof up badly in the previous content piece about Insurgency Sandstorm and its console port, which was released about 2 months ago. Today I'd like to correct some of my mistakes I made in that particular rant, as the feedback in the comment section gave me some information that I shouldn't have missed in the first place. Before that, I would like to thank you everyone for the feedback on that particular video. I know it was one of those weak research uploads, and thanks to you, I'm here to fix most of the problems. Sadly, I had to remove that content piece because I received angry, negative remarks and identical comments about the standard Deluxe Gold editions. Seeing people repeating the same message again and again without reading the important information pinned in the comments disappointed me. Now into the important matters. Today I'm going to discuss and review the console version, and that is without the bias I had above the PC development situation. Only now I understand that this build of the game is completely different to the one seen on the computer platform, because it's a completely different medium. My negative experience and memories clouded my impressions when it came to reviewing and discussing the console port, and I'm sorry for that. However, some ideas I have shared in that particular rant are still valid going forward with the release version, and I would like to include them in this upload as well. But instead of writing that as a comment under the section below, I'm going to cover it in a video format. Now I understand that the content I produce covers the game in a negative spotlight, but without criticism on some bad aspects of the game, it's never going to improve. Yet, the previous rant was way too negative to take out any useful information, and with that fact I agree. Starting fresh with the pricing method seen on console version. The game retails for $40 base price, also known as Standard Edition. After investigating further into the pricing methods seen on Microsoft and Sony markets, I do agree that such an amount of money is perfect for Insurgency Sandstorm. In this package you receive the base game, the experience everyone is here for basically. Because the policies are much different for respective companies, this price is more than welcome by me at this point. Compared to PC, where the game is set in a completely different environment, this price is a steal, especially when compared to a AAA title that goes up to $70 in 2021. Now when diving into the pricing for Deluxe and Gold editions, this is where everything becomes quite delicate. I do agree that it's much better to buy these respective editions than wasting up to $120 for cosmetic content seen in Call of Duty and Battlefield franchises. But in my personal perspective, I still believe that spending $70–80 for the higher tiers is a waste. Yes, by spending this money you are helping the developers financially, yet Year 2 content hasn't been fully revealed, so you don't even know what you will receive ordering the highest version of the game. I'm not here to impose rules everyone, I'm here to share my opinion about this said version. Of course, if you want those skins seen in game and or support developers, you are free to do so. Nobody will blame you for trying to support an indie studio and their projects. But, are you willing to spend double the price of a basic experience to receive some extra visual content? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. My mistake in the previous upload was comparing an indie product to the annual releases seen from Activision, EA, and other huge corporations. I'm sorry for that analogy. Going forward about the generation problem. As you might know, the game was released for past gen only in 2021, and that is a fact everyone. Personally, I was quite disappointed to see it released only for those platforms, since next gen consoles like PlayStation 5 and Series X/S have to emulate the game. This is why I shared my concerns, because it's not a true, native version of Insurgency Sandstorm running on next gen systems. While on topic, some people in the comments on the previous rant highlighted me that there is a badge on the Microsoft page stating that the game is optimized for Series X/S. Sorry to disappoint you everyone, but this doesn't mean the game has its next gen version released. Just like said on the discussion stream hosted some time ago, that flare is there because of the 60 FPS upgrade. A perfect example of such upgrade is Horizon Zero Dawn, which received a patch to bump up the FPS for PlayStation 5. You are technically running the PS4 version of the game, but with an unlocked frame counter. Same thing is applied to Sandstorm, you are running the past gen edition, but with a patch that bumps up the frame rate. Comparing native support to emulation, I think it's no surprise which choice is better. And this is where we move along to the console version review. Now, unlike my usual deep dive seen on the channel, an example being Battlefield V's review, I'll be talking about overall experience I had with the game spent in Sandstorm on PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 5 consoles. Since gameplay is basically the same both for PC and consoles, I'll only concentrate on my impressions and experiences. For you to know from which platform the background gameplay is coming from, I'll put a flare in the top right corner of the screen, each designating the respective platform the footage is coming from. Starting off with PlayStation 5, the next-gen consoles. As mentioned previously in this video, the game as of this moment comes only as a past-gen version. Further proof can be seen in the main menu. The icon demonstrates which build my game has installed. Starting the game, everything loads as expected, really fast, thanks to the SSD storage inside the console. My only serious disappointment out of this build is the loading time for locations. It takes around 15-20 seconds for you to get into a round. Don't get me wrong, that's a very fast loading time, but when you look at other projects, which are also emulated on PS5, those load up much faster, in the range of single-digit numbers even. Gameplay is buttery smooth, with 60 FPS even in heavy cases. That is pleasingly surprising, but also expected from the newer generation consoles. Now onto some bugs I've noticed while playing the game. Sometimes the gun audio simply doesn't work. This is some weirdness for sure. You engage enemies and suddenly your weapon becomes dead silent. Other funny thing is seeing masks float midair. I've seen this problem very often, and it's quite funny to see them levitate in the corners of the houses. Now there is one problem that has been a thing on PC as well for about a year at this point, and that is the invisible crates on locations. See this rubber banding right here? This was supposed to be a box for you to replenish ammo. The exploit works as well. When you open up the customization screen and close it back, you are fully replenished with health and ammo. These problems can be solved pretty easily with a patch, so I can't really hate the experience I had playing on PlayStation 5. Now where the real problems appear are on PlayStation 4, the past generation consoles. Just look at this background gameplay everyone. It's incredible how this was approved by management and had a retail release. Mind you, this was recorded on a PlayStation 4 Pro system. That's the most powerful console from last generation Sony made. Every single time you switch the camera, you can see assets struggling to load in. Textures appear, scopes spawn, and most of the time explosions tank the frame rate really hard. It's incredibly bad. Unlike PS5 where you see floating masks, and sometimes lose sound, this version is straight up suffering from asset loading and frame drops. Pistols and knives straight up refuse to appear in spectator mode, and you see just an empty screen with some camera shakes when the player is shooting. Sorry everyone, but if you wish to purchase Insurgency Sandstorm for PS4, you have to wait for some serious patches from NWI to fix the performance issues. If I only had the past-gen consoles available, I would issue a refund just because of these problems. I can't believe how bad the frame pacing and asset loadings are. It's like the console doesn't even store the loaded content into the memory and just forgets everything once the camera has switched places. I would surely trade this 4K quotes 30 FPS mode for a stable 1080p 60 FPS, or even a 1080p 30 FPS in the worst case scenario. Gameplay is just like PC and PS5, but with very bad performance. I suppose you can get used to these problems, but are you willing to pay $40 for such an experience? I can't even imagine what the base console has to offer with its hardware, especially after this disaster seen on Pro version. Now on to conclusions. Insurgency Sandstorm is truly a breath of fresh air when it comes to shooters on consoles. This is one of the first hardcore style shooters to appear on such platforms, and I'm glad that people received it, even if the release window was extremely wide. Personally, I had a blast playing it on the couch, arriving home after a day of hard work, especially on those night maps, tactically looking around the corners and neutralizing targets milsim style. Next-gen consoles give you a very smooth experience, and playing this game will give you an awesome time. Past-gen versions, however, require heavy patching and optimization fixes, because those slideshows are not fun to witness at all. If you are an owner of a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS, I definitely recommend you get this game and experience Sandstorm in its full glory. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners though, please wait for some patches before you decide to pull the trigger on this title. My eyes at the end of each play session were begging me to stop and take a break. Of course, you can still buy it and experience the build as it is, but I personally wouldn't sit a day longer playing with such problems, especially after seeing how great it works on PS5. I hope I did this coverage right this time around, unlike the previous content release with me just bashing the game for dropping a release on popular platforms. Let me know your impressions on the game if you are playing it, and also some feedback on this video as well in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Now before you go, remember to throw a thumbs up and subscribe. Clicking the bell stuff will send you notifications when something new is uploaded on my channel. Thank you for watching, this was Chris, see you in the gaming zone.